So this morning I'll be taking a Year 11 ATAR Health Studies classroom. It'll be based on the Unit 2 ATAR Health Studies course, and it'll be focusing on epidemiology with an application for COVID-19 or coronavirus, which is a virus or disease which is currently sweeping the globe. I thought it tied in nicely with the real world problems that we're facing at the moment, and I have the classroom set up in front of me, so they're ready to go, and we'll begin. So does anyone within the classroom know what epidemiology is?
Epidemiology? No. No, so I don't know what epidemiology is.
You're not sure what it is? So if we break it down, do any of you study biology?
I used to, but I dropped
Study? You dropped it? You don't?
No.
What about human bio?
Yeah, I've had human bio.
Human bio. So what's human bio?
Study of the human body.
The study of the human body, exactly. So epidemiology, if we break that down, it's the study of public health patterns within our population, okay? Can anyone tell me what morbidity is? Yeah, over here?
Is it the amount of people affected by a disease, like within a certain area?
Yeah, that's right. So if we look at that, it's the amount of people that are affected by the disease but aren't killed by the disease. So if we look at mortality now, what do you think that might mean?
Does it refer to like deaths amongst the population?
Yeah, exactly. So it refers to how many people die from a disease. Does anyone know the common disease that's sweeping the globe at the moment?
Oh yeah, COVID-19.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so that's currently sweeping the world. It started in China and has obviously escalated to a worldwide pandemic, and that's why we're looking at it today, because that's what epidemiology studies. It's the study of disease patterns within a population. Okay, so applying this to the world in its current situation, what would an epidemiologist study? Yep.
Would it compare the rates between different countries? So
Yeah, perfect. That's a great example. So, for example, a country that's had it really tough lately in Italy compared to Australia. Yep. Anyone else?
No, I don't know. So.
Not sure? Okay, so it's virtually what we've had touched over here. So it's a comparison between two countries. It can also be a comparison amongst the death rates from country to country. It's virtually crunching the numbers and seeing what is happening due to a disease in the population. And for example, with COVID-19 at the moment, we can break it down into countries, or we can break it down into a global factor. Okay. Okay, so this activity will go for approximately 4 minutes. And the next activity that we'll be doing would be a card shuffle activity. For this activity, I would have students split into groups of 4 or 5 and ask them to complete the card shuffle. This will scaffold the students' learning based on what they've learnt in the class discussion at the beginning of the lesson. I've created the card shuffle to look something like this. This is what a completed one will look like. I've also incorporated images so it can aid visual learners. Once the whole class has completed the card shuffle, we'll then come together and see what the end product would look like. Obviously comparing group answers, seeing what students got a certain definition and comparing it to another group, and then the students amongst the class can obviously argue while they got that certain definition. Throughout this activity, I'll need to monitor the classroom, ensuring that all students are remaining on task and not distracting other groups amongst the class or looking at their card shuffle to try to get answers. After this activity is finished, we'll move on to You're the Epidemiologist. This is an activity where students will be able to apply their knowledge of content learnt in the previous activities and work individually to create a list of behaviours. So we'll restart the classroom now. Okay, so for this activity, now that we've completed the card shuffle, I'd just like you to create a list on your own of 3 ways we can stop the spread or stop the mortality and morbidity rates amongst Australians due to coronavirus. So I'll give you 3 minutes.
Can we work in pairs for this one, or is it individually?
Yeah, so you can work in your groups that we have set.
So we've got self-isolation.
Yeah, self-isolation. And only going with shops for essential needs.
So only going out for essential product.
Yeah, and no seeing friends. Like, that's completely out of it.
Maybe washing our hands.
Yeah.
Feel free to use your electronic devices as well if you're struggling with the activity or you're not too sure where to look. Use your electronic devices and that should help you.
Keeping a distance.
What was the last one?
Keeping a distance. Yeah. And only two people.
Alright, so we've got self-isolation, and going out for essential product, washing hands regularly, or distancing.
Boys at the back, just make sure you're staying on task, thank you.
Clothing on essential services and market private distance.
So, how was your weekend?
It's not what we're meant to be doing right now. Just stay on task, please.
Yeah. Yeah. What you doing?
Oh, okay,
For those of you that have came up with a list of 3, try maybe adding 1 or 2 more.
So, we've got 5.
You got 5? Okay, well, make sure you've written them down into your own textbooks so they're just not on the group's piece of paper. So for this activity, I'll use this as a piece of formative assessment. This will allow me to see how students are able to relate to the content previously taught and apply it to a different task. Okay, so that's time's up. So whilst we're sharing this as a class, if a group shares something that you haven't got on your list, just make sure you pop that down on yours, just so you have extra information for the activity that we've done. So what are some of the health behaviours we came up with? Yeah, over here.
So keeping the self-isolation rule in. Self-isolation.
Yeah, so self-isolation, making sure we remain a certain distance from people. Yeah. Yeah.
We said washing hands regularly for more than 20 seconds.
Washing hands regularly for more than 20 seconds. Yeah, very good. Any others?
Only going out for essential needs.
Only going out for essential needs. So what have we seen lately in the supermarkets?
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper. People are smashing the toilet paper thinking that we're going to run out of it. Probably not the case, but that's what's happening. Anything else?
And tissues are going, so.
Tissues? Yeah.
We said closing all non-essential services, so things like beauticians and stuff. We actually got to touch people. We don't actually need piercings or anything like that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
hairdressers should shut too, so.
Yeah, you think, why is that?
Because people were in contact with them too. Not beauticians aren't the only ones.
Yeah, very good. Yep.
We said keeping a distance of more than 1.5 metres between people.
Yeah, so that's one that's been really strongly forced upon by the government at the moment, keeping 1.5 metres distance.
And
Very
that
good.
square rule, you can only have per square metre or something.
You gotta have 4 square metres per
Yeah.
person or something.
Yeah.
Public gathering.
Very good. So to recap today's lesson, what are some of the, what is epidemiology? Yeah,
It's a study of public health patterns.
yeah, the study of public health patterns. Yeah, and how did we apply that in the activity we just did?
So we learned about ways that the public can altogether stop something like a pandemic like COVID-19 from spreading.
Yeah, very good. Excellent. Can someone tell me what morbidity is?
The number of, like, the amount of
Hand
people,
up, please, when you answer the question. Yep.
the amount of people affected by the disease in an area.
Very good. Yeah, so the amount of people affected by the disease. Great answer.
Yeah.
How's it different to mortality? Yep.
Mortality means that people die, like the amount of people that die from it. So deaths.
Yeah, deaths due to the disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. So that's a key difference that we need to make sure we remember for next lesson. Next lesson we'll be having a group activity where we're given a global disease, and in our groups we will be using the definitions learnt within today's lesson to answer questions about a certain disease that has happened throughout the history of the world. Okay. Yeah, so that's about it. So throughout the activity, I need to make sure that I monitor students' behaviour and make sure students are aren't packing up before the lesson has finished. This wasn't happening during this lesson, so that was good. And yeah, that's about it.